everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoDatDaily.com is your site. The WhoDatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform stores where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Man, another good week of practice. Guys are out here working extremely hard. I think practice has been, really crisp. Guys are practicing the right way, and yet, we're being smart about how we're working. So I think that's been really good so far.
You get Jarvis in for some work. How's Jarvis looked so far?
He looks like what I would expect Jarvis to look like. I think he probably, he's really good transition in and out of the route. The top of the route's really pretty good with him. He understands how to get open, and then he also understands how to make plays with the ball in his hand once he's got it. And so I think he was a really good addition for us, and anxious to kind of get going with him.
I know you were here in 06. I remember Drew couldn't throw and he was doing mental reps. I know Jameis is coming off an injury. Do you have to kind of balance he wants to be the leader and he wants to show he's out here, but also, I hate to use the term save him from himself, but make sure he doesn't push himself too hard?
Yeah, look, I think that's all part of the process. And look, Jameis has been really good throughout the rehab process. I think he's done a good job of kind of understanding where he's at, what he can and can't do. And certainly that's part of our responsibility also as an organization, to make sure that we're kind of overseeing it and make sure that we're doing all the things that we need to do. So yes, there is a delicate balance between pushing yourself to get yourself ready and yet being smart and not overdoing it.
Dennis, I assume y'all aren't planning major changes, but with the talent y'all have coming back and have added at wide receiver, might the identity of the offense look a little different than what we've been used to?
Well, look, I think that's all still to be determined. The best coaching jobs are the ones where you identify what you do really well. You put your guys in those positions to do those things. And then the things you don't do as well, you try to limit the times you're asking guys to do that. So I think the identity of the offense will come to life as we get into training camp, get into some preseason games, and really identify the things that we do really well.
Dennis Allen breaking it down. Who that to the Black and Gold family members, and welcome to another installment of the Sports Coma Thursday stream. This one, Saints OTAs 2022 news and notes coming from the Coma. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q. I'm in the building. You are the great Saint think tank, the best, the brightest, the strongest of the Who Dat Nation. I appreciate you guys joining me in this live stream as we are kind of reacting, listening to what happened earlier with Dennis Allen. Of course, right after that, Jarvis Landry will chime in as well on his thoughts on OTAs, the second round in this piece. So much love to the fam. Please feel free to hit upon the like button. Hit the like button for your fam as we keep it going. Here go Dennis Allen completing his interview.
Dennis, Carlos got Debo last year, got thrown the fire a little bit and did well. What areas you feel you see him better now than you were at this time last year?
I think just the understanding of what we're doing defensively. So I think he's playing a step faster right now because he really understands what we're doing. And I think also just from a fundamental and technique standpoint, he's way in front of where he was at this point last year. So I like where he's at. I like what he's done. And certainly it's not time to start patting ourselves on the back yet. We're out here working and trying to get better.
Dennis, can you talk a little bit about Adam Troutman? His rookie year last year, now it's going to be year number 3 for him. I'm sure you're looking big things for him this year.
Well, look, I'm looking for him to be a consistent player on a down in and down out basis. Nobody's asking him to be Superman. And look, development with players takes time. There was an injury process that he went through, which kind of delayed the development a little bit. I wouldn't say that it's uncommon for it to take a couple of years and get into year 3 before you really find out exactly what you have in a player. And I think that's probably where Trout's at. I think he is a well-rounded football player, and so he has the ability to be an inline blocker for us and also a pass receiver. So yeah, look, much like a lot of guys, this is a great opportunity in this offseason to get out here and get yourself better, and kind of get yourself ready for training camp.
Dennis Allen on Adam Troutman, man, not asking for much, just do your damn job and do it well. And that's the thing we were saying about Trout, man, is that eventually Adam Troutman in his third year, the first year didn't do too much. He was mostly a third stringer behind the veteran tight ends. Second year, he got to step up and show out. A lot of people are looking at Troutman, but listen, there's a shared workload in the offense, and he will relatively disappear. He's going to get a lot of wide open balls thrown this way because the defense is going to be so slam packed. Looking at everybody else, Troutman has to shine in this year. That's a good analysis.
I think just a veteran presence is probably the biggest thing. Nothing's too big for him. He's been there, done that. He's performed at a high level in our league. And so I think adding that experience into that room, I think, has been good.
I agree.
Obviously, you were part of
Smart
the
sign.
culture here, but did you set goals for yourself for like your first OTA or your first mini camp? And I guess how is it 2 weeks into it now?
Well, look, I don't know that there was just this specific goal that we want to get this done in a certain amount of time. I think things happen because of a process, and really I think what I want to do is continue to develop the culture that we have and put my own identity on it, and that's what we're trying to do, and that really comes with preaching the same message every single day, and coming to work every single day to try to improve yourself, and that's us as coaches and players.
Dennis, what about running back Khalique? It seems like he really catches the ball well in the backfield.
Yeah, look, he's a guy that's we've got some experience with the player, so that was one of the things that was intriguing about it, is that we do have experience with him, and he's got experience in our system, and so we thought that was a nice fit, and I think he's done a pretty good job over the first couple of weeks.
For all the young running backs, is this an opportunity with Alvin and Mark not here for them to get added opportunities to catch
I think
a
for
ride?
anybody that's out here, it's an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, this is an opportunity for guys to improve at their craft. And the guys that are out here, I think, are working extremely hard to do that.
A lot of you settling into the job. I mean, I'm looking at the Compete Street sign. I mean, was there any tendency for you, like, let's change the signs? I mean, like,
well,
we
look,
want things to feel
one of the
different.
things that we preach is competition, you know, in everything that we do. And so, why would I change things just to change them? You know, we've done a lot of good stuff around here, so you're going to see a lot of the same stuff, you know. And the way I present the message may be just a little bit different than maybe the way that Sean presented it, and that's what I mean by kind of putting my own flair on it.
Speaking of that, I saw you watching the wide receiver drills. Is it hard or easy for you, as somebody who spent his career on the defensive side of the ball, to kind of say, got to get away from that, I do need to, and focus on the offense?
Well, I think it's a lot easier when you feel like you've got highly qualified coaches on the defensive side of the ball that can handle things when you're not watching, you know, and we've got great coaches on the defensive side of the ball. I give them a lot of freedom to do a lot of different stuff, and that allows me to kind of, you know, oversee the whole team. All good? Thanks, guys.
Dennis Allen, fam, breaking down his analysis on the team. Jarvis Landry coming up. Good analysis right there. The reporters asked some pretty good questions.
First few days have gone for you.
It's been hot. It's been hot. I missed this weather, but it's been very productive. We've got a lot of great work in on all three phases. So.
Dennis said one of the things he's noticed is that they're getting exactly what they expect out of you. A guy who, you know, can get open, catch the ball, and a guy who can do something with it once he gets it in his hand. Do you feel like those are the strong elements you add to this?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm just, you know, getting my feet back under me, trying to get understanding of the playbook so I can play a little bit faster. You know, but those things will come with just reps. You know, we got a couple weeks here before we close out, and then, you know, that continues on into training camp and the season. So I'll be ready.
Overall, do you just like the fresh start that you're getting, and do you hope to be healthy and get through, you know, through a season here? Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's been a breath of fresh air. You know, to be back home, to be around the culture that's already been set here in New Orleans, the leadership that's here already, and obviously, you know, we all need to stay healthy. You know, stay healthy so we can have a chance to do what we set out to do.
What are your early impressions of working with Cody Burns?
He's very detailed. He's very detailed. You know, he knows a lot. He understands the game. You know, he's giving us coaching points, things to recognize that, you know, even in year 9 that I haven't really, I won't say paid attention to, but, you know, he's broken down in ways that has allowed me to see the field a little bit better. You know, it's only been an early 3 days so far, but you know, he's been helping me even, you know, when I've been in Florida, spending my time in Florida, he's still been kind of helping me virtually as well. So he's you know, all is well so far.
So yeah, what does that say about a guy who you've been in the league for almost a decade now, and he's still teaching you to see things differently?
That's big.
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of it. You know, probably part of the reason why he got a job. He's very smart, very detailed. You know, so I'm happy to be, you know, in his presence and have the opportunity to learn from him as well.
That's big
Jarvis,
praise right there, man.
It
That's
seems
big.
like throughout your career, especially look the number of receptions and the yards after the catch. Would you view yourself as maybe one of the top receivers, not the top receiver, as far as yards after the catch?
Yeah, you know, I don't wrap my mind around that stuff no more. You know, if I fall in that trap, you know, it's never ending. But you know, for me, I think, you know, I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna run great routes. I'm gonna catch the football and make things happen with it. Block for my teammates, you know, and that's just who I am. And when I hang it up at some point, and we can go back and, you know, check records and check stats and things like that.
What have your conversations been with Jameis so far? You've been able to get on the field together, and how you two can mesh, and you know, him looking for you and what you like and what he likes? Yeah,
he's a leader, man. He's a guy, again, like I told you guys earlier before when I first got here, he's one of the reasons why I came here. just the conversations that we had, you know, the intent that, you know, he's putting behind the things that he's saying, you know, and obviously out here on the field, you know, what you see is what you get, you know. I mean, look, I don't see nobody else out here, and this guy's the last one, you know, and that's who he is, you know, and that's something that you want at that position and a part of your team. So,
how important is it? These are voluntary. Did you feel like you had to be hard up with a new coach and a new system and a new program at some point?
Yeah, absolutely. DA is amazing. You know, obviously this is a weird offseason for me. Obviously, first time head coach. Well, the second time head coach, but you know, first time here. But I had a lot of moving parts going on, and he was very understanding about, you know, me not being here early on, and you know, and getting here now. It's, you know, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be on the grass, be running routes. You know, have an opportunity to learn and be a part of the culture and the team, and you know, find my place here.
Jarvis, I noticed you kind of bring a little fire to practice, and you know, maybe talk a little bit. Is that just kind of the way that you like to play, to kind of bring an edge and just be like that every day in practice?
Yeah, I'm always gonna be me. I'm very competitive. You know, I'm not really a trash talker, but you know, if it gets fiery, if it gets there, and that's what it is. But I'm not, you know, I'm just here competing.
Jarvis, how is your conversations going with like Michael Thomas? Do y'all like once a week, or how does that?
No, that's my brother. That's my brother. I'm excited to see him. You know, we've always been talking. We've had a long-standing relationship since, you know, he was in high school, we were in college. You know, so he's a guy that as time went on, and obviously the things that he did here in New Orleans, you know, you look up to a guy like that. You know, so he has a lot of potential, even more potential going forward, and I can't wait to see him out here and line it up with him. It should be fun.
How do you, I don't know how many people you've played with that are kind of style, like how do you think you two will feed off each other and help each other, you know, kind of?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be us. I think we're gonna be us, and you know, it's gonna be up to Pete and RC to figure out a way to, you know, to get us the ball. And but I think, you know, we all, again, still post something a little bit different, you know, and I think the biggest thing is we all can make plays, you know, and that's what's the most important thing as an offense.
Jarvis, your thoughts on Chris Olave so far?
He's been outstanding. He's in great shape. He's running great routes. He's on top of the playbook. You know, he's going to be a contributor, a big-time contributor for sure, as it looks right now.
What did you see in that one-handed catch you made out there? It looked like on a 7-on-7. What did you kind of see on that play?
Just running my route. I got pulled a little bit, so it kind of took my other arm away. So I had to just catch it any way I could and stuck one out there and grabbed it.
How'd you get to know Mike when he was in high school?
So when we were in college, he was always, obviously he was going to camps and stuff like that, but I think, Facebook maybe at the time, or Twitter maybe was coming up. I don't know. Instagram was around yet, but damn, I just aged myself a little bit. And he was always kind of interested, like curious. You know, he was curious about, you know, learning the things from myself, learning things from Odell, and that kind of carried on when he got to Ohio State. That carried on as we got early on in the league. I'm in Miami. Odell was in New York at the time. And then when he got here, I mean, it's really been, for him, it's only been up, you know. So I'm excited to see him healthy and get back on the field, because, you know, this team could definitely use him.
Yes. When you said you don't pay attention to records anymore, were you paying attention when you were younger, and all of a sudden he was breaking, like your name was in a lot of Michael Thomas stories?
It was. But, you know, and no better person than one of my brothers. So it's still a blessing. It's still an honor.
Jarvis, LSU, Brian Kelly, what's your thoughts on you? What's going on up there?
Yeah, I've been watching closely, and now that I'm back home, I have an opportunity to go up there and, you know, really meet coach and, you know, be around the new staff and, you know, see what's got going on. I mean, I don't expect nothing less down there. You know, it's high competition. You know, playmakers going to recruit well. Frank Wilson is back now, so, you know, he was a guy that really got all of us together. You know, so I'm excited to see what comes of it. Thank you, guys.
Jarvis Landry, fam. And prior to that was Pete Carmichael. I mean, Dennis Allen chiming in. Much love to the Who Dat Nation. Appreciate y'all being in this live stream. Much love to the fam on this one. And what's intriguing and interesting all at the same time, fam, is the fact that you know, if you were able to watch some of the highlights or see what was going on, man, it was actually pretty damn good to see the play as it ratcheted up a bit. Even some of the reporters spoke about it in the reports that I was reading about the uptick and the fact that, of course, that happens because you have some of the big name guys getting that Jarvis Landry out there working, and you see the rest of the guys in there working, as well as the Saints started this year off, man, with this building this floor for the Super Bowl run. You don't bring Jarvis Landry in, who's on a 1-year deal, in Tyrann Mathieu and several others in here, put nothing but a Super Bowl run. A lot of powerful, really good commentary about Jarvis Landry, about Cody Burns, about him teaching him stuff, how detailed he is. We talked about that before in the show, how we like Cody Burns and how the New Orleans Saints are looking at Burns. It could be a move. A lot of people feel that Cody Burns, the new wide receiver coach for the Black and Gold, could be a move similar to what happened when Coach Payton went and got Ryan Nielsen from, what was it, North Carolina State, the Wolfpack, made him the defensive line coach. And after that, man, you can see a severe uptick in how things with the Saints defensive line, man. And he is a very sought after player. You know, the Saints done a really fantastic job in finding these young, talented coaches to come in and continue to elevate the standard of play that we are accustomed to in the city of New Orleans and throughout the world where the rest of the Houdat's dwell. So it's awesome to hear him. And then the accolades, once again, to Jameis Winston, the great commentary about Michael Thomas, how you knew him for a while. It's a fraternity after all, right? So, you know, most of these guys have seen each other either in the high school level or in the college level as they go to these different confabs and these combines or these different little groups and they work out and whatnot coming up in the game. So you'll see some of the top prospects will compete in these different areas, and they ultimately will know each other, know of each other. So great information there by Jarvis Landry. Great questions by the Houdat reporters down there, asking some really solid questions, especially with Dennis Allen, asking really terrific questions about Dennis Allen, about Devine Zigbo, about Adam Troutman. I got to commend the local New Orleans press. They did a fantastic job in questioning Dennis Allen and his presser. A lot of great information there as well. So I'd like to thank you guys as well as we thank the local press for some great work there, man, in asking the questions. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us for this Thursday stream. Much love to the fam, man. Over 120 of us in the building. If you hadn't hit the like button, please feel free to stomp on the like button right now. Big ups to all the fam up in here. I won't hold you guys long. We'll come back on Friday, open up the phone lines and let the family members chime in on the week's worth of action that we've seen throughout the week with the Black and Gold. But in this one, we'll cover some news, notes, and items, go over some observations from camp. I played a highlight reel of some stuff that happened today. Of course, they talked about Jarvis Landry's fantastic one-handed catch. As the guy was holding on to him, he still was able to make the catch. Jarvis Landry does stuff like that all the time. He's just really intelligent, never loses focus of where the ball is, and will use whatever extremity he has to try to catch that ball. You take this arm away from me, I'll use this other thing to get it. So there's no excuses with Jarvis Landry. And that's the type of quality of player that you have now brought into your offense and will act as a third wide receiver or a slot weapon for the Black and Gold. I think that's absolutely tremendous to have him in this role, for him to be healthy. And of course, Mike Thomas will be ready. We're going to put that out there right now. Mike Thomas will be good to go for training camp. I'm feeling good about that, feeling good about Jameis as well. And a lot of positive stuff, even with Marcus May, our safety we picked up from the Jets, who is dealing with his own injury, who should be ready for training camp. And also he'll be dealing with some suspension work. You best believe it coming down the line. We'll see how many days that should be coming down in the pipe any time now. So with that being said, we'll open up the show. So big ups to the rest of the fam. Thank y'all for being in the stream as well. So brother Pat Rich 504, Hot Boy Slim, Kai, Seth, what's up, fam? Who that to all the family members? Ryan, T-Rob, brother Doug, Uncle Paulie, House of Twigger, brother Jerry. Let's see, Brian Pearson, Brandon Reese. What's up, Brandon? Who else we got? What's up, Ro? Is in the building. Trey Joseph, much love. Pammy Whammy, what's up to the Queens? Bobby the Space Ghost, Darrell, what's up, fam? Appreciate you being here as well. What's up, Marcos? Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate you. And who else we got in the building as well? Let me give a shout out. Brandon Reese. Let's see who else we got there. I won't leave nobody out there as well. The True Hurt. What's up, True Hurt? Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you. Good to see you. Pelicans Nola, much love to you. Linda, what's up, Linda? Who that to you, Queen? All right. What's up, brother Edward? Who that to you? Coach Tab, I see you, fam.
What's up, Lori? Who that to you? St. John, what's up, fam? Appreciate you. All right, Pick It and Flick It. Much love, fam. Appreciate you being in the chat as well. Much love to you. Brother Frederick is in the building as well. Much love to you, bro. Appreciate you being in the stream as well. Ramsey, what's up, Ramsey? Much love to you, fam. Appreciate you as well. And all the Who That's, BR Fitted 225's in the building as well. All the Who That's are rocking in this thing. Give me a thumbs up, fam. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that hell out the subscribe button, hit the notification button as well. What's up, Brother Keldrick? Who that to you? JT, much love to you, fam. What's up, Richard? Who that to you, fam? I see you. All right, much love to the fam. You know, I'm big on that. Real deal. What's up, fam? Talk to Q in my Mickey Loomis voice. I got you. What's up, Shedrick? Who that to you, fam? Brother Derek White's in the building. Young City Night Ward. Elites in the building. Big ups to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Brandon, what's up, Joseph? Big ups to you, Barry. I see you, fam. Byron, I see you. Skylife Entertainment. Brian Sanders as well. J Saints 35. Big ups to you, fam. J Rock. What's up, J Rock? Ant-Man, I see you, baby. Who that to you? And big ups to the entire Who That Nation, man. Thank y'all for being here in the stream. So with that being said, fam, we're going to bounce into some of the observation notes from our good friends at Saints News and Network that covered it and had some observations. We'll go over that as well. Big ups to you. What's up, Pepperboy 9? Much love, fam. Appreciate you as well. So let's hit the like button and let's just go screen. All right, we'll start off with this one from John Hendricks over at the Saints News Network, covering the scoop only today's observations and notes from the second open Saints OTA to the practice anyway in the media. All right, so a lot of good things to talk about. He gets into the attendance. Again, the sessions are strictly voluntary, but the first to pass along is that those who returned to practice who were not here last week, that group included Landon Young, who is back from that broken foot, Kentavious Street, who the Saints picked up to try to help out with the interior defensive line. Andrews Pete is there, Jarvis Landry, as you've seen, and Adam Troutman. As for those who still missing, with his 15 players, the group entitled is most of the bigger names, I guess you could say, guys like Taysom Hill, Deontay Harty, Michael Thomas, Mark Ingram, Bradley Roby, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Marshawn Lattimore, P.J. Williams, Tyrann Mathieu, Elvin Kamara, Demario Davis, James Hurst, Marcus Davenport, Elbert Huggins, and Peyton Turner. And of course, Tyrann was there last week. And remember, like he's saying, these are voluntary, so they're not required to be there if they don't want to be there. You know, so it's good to see that Jarvis came anyway, trying to get that work in. All right, so let's keep it rolling, fam. What's up, T Dirty? Who that, fam? Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here. All right, practice notes observation. There was a little bit of different vibe to this week's session as opposed to the previous one. The team worked on a good bit of special teams drills that included block punts, individual drills, formations, kickoffs, kick returns, and punt work. We got to see that 7-on-7 session safety drills for offense and 11 drills. Thank you, brother Pat Rich, for being a Pro Star member for a year now, fam. Much love to you. Thank you for doing that. All right, Clint, much love, brother Clint. I see you, fam. Appreciate you. All right, so we talked about this, family, on the previous stream, how important special teams are toward the back end of yesterday's stream, the Wednesday stream. We talked about the importance of special teams play, and I asked the question to the Who Dat Nation: how many games last year that the New Orleans Saints lost due to poor field goal kicking? You see, I'll put that in the chat, and some of the family members, I won't kind of tell you what they said. Most of you remember, because I don't want my answer to influence what you think. But the reality, I asked that question because special teams is a part. In order to get to the big dance, to the championship and win one, you got to be functioning on a high level with all three areas of your team, not just offense and defense, but special teams has to step up and handle the business. Well, as you can tell, last year we had games where when Will Lutz went down, we had to go through a bevy of different field goal kickers who were just not there, who was missing field kicks. And particularly, I remember one particular game that really hurt us with bad field goal kicking, and that was the Tennessee Titans game, with a lot of strange stuff going on with that. The corrupt referee with the flag, the late flag, and the hit on the bullcrap hit. Lay hit on the quarterback, which he was sitting up there watching to see what the Saints was going to do in the end zone. When Marcus Williams caught that interception pass in the end zone, then the flag comes out. I had the video, I was showing it. But anyway, a lot of crazy crap happened in that game, including 2 missed field goals. So that also, in my thought process, contributed to the Saints ultimately losing. When you go down in these games and the offense is just not on the foot and their defense is handling the business, and you're in their territory 3 times in field goal range, if you can't get 7, get 3. And if we're there 3 times, that's 9 points. That ultimately helps us stay in the game until the offense does catch fire. The defense in most of the games, the majority of the games last year was on point with what they did, including that great blanking of Tampa Bay when offense gave us nothing. The defense was in there handling the business. And the special teams, of course, was the reason why the Saints won, because the offense didn't put up anything. But the most, I guess, the best thing you can say is that they did get the special teams in position so they can kick those field goals. But anyway, a lot of that happened. Now, you can see what the brothers are saying. Brother Marco, what's up, fam? Says 4 games. JT says 5 games, where he feels like field goal kicking was a major problem for the Who Dat Nation. Well, Will Lutz return. You've seen that clip that I played, the highlight clip of today's practice, seeing Will Lutz running out there. He is healthy. He returns. So the New Orleans Saints do understand the importance of having solid kicker play. Will Lutz is one of the best kickers in the business. He's compensated as such. And the Saints did a lot of great things in adding talent to improve upon the special teams room. When you got guys like Sorensen that's in there, he'll play a strong role in the special teams, and other players as well that have strong special team acumen will serve to help the black and gold. So really the Saints did a great job in improving their offense, defense, and special teams. Really they did. Let's finish up here. All right, Landon Young was back at practice, as we mentioned, and he got a good bunch of the starting reps at right tackle, which is positive because people were saying that Landon Young could play the guard position, but a lot of people see him as tackle. Could he be a dark horse in pursuit of one of those positions inside? Remember, at first they thought he could compete for what would have been Teron Armstead's position, or possibly Ryan Ramczyk, depending on how the switch would happen if the switch comes. But Landon Young was seen as a tackle, but he's a guy that the Saints, well, Sean Payton and the staff seems like has a high upside. It's a very deep offensive line this year. A lot of competition, fam. Competition is the key in this what's going to be the training camp going into from this point moving forward into when the main camp start. Competition is major all across the board in damn near every room on the Saints team. Competition, especially in special teams, it's just going to be fantastic because the best players are going to be on the field. All right, so anyway, Andrews Pete was back as well, working at a familiar left guard spot. Trevor Pinion was at the tackle position, left tackle, while Ruiz and McCoy were at their spots, which means Ruiz was at the guard position with McCoy at center. Marcus May participated in some walkthroughs, which is a big step forward. The only player who spotted that did not practice was Rashid Shaheed, the great punt returner that we found out of Weber State. Now, we know Marcus May he's going through walkthroughs, and eventually he's getting to the place where he's almost healthy. Remember, he had an injury that he was recovering from as well. They didn't really get a lot of the attention to know that he is recovering as well. And Josh Andrews, the former Atlanta Falcon offensive lineman, ended up being the secondary option at center. Is something we don't pay a lot of attention to, but the team had Forrest Lamp working there last week in addition to him. Sticking with the offensive line, Gerald Hawkins worked as the second left tackle. Ethan Greenwich at left guard. At Greenwich was playing tackle position. They're trying him at the guard position now. Devine Zigbo, this is which is big because Devine Zigbo was getting starter reps with Elvin Kamara out of that thing. It's not Tony Jones Jr. Now, this is interesting. Remember, when they signed Devine Zigbo, a lot of people, when they brought him back for the third time, I said, listen, you don't take 3 looks at a player. Remember, the Saints were the first ones to get him when he was undrafted straight out, and they had him, then released him. The Jacksonville Jaguars picked him up. Then eventually Jacksonville cut him. Saints picked him up again, and then boom, he got released back to the Jags or whatever. And then ultimately, when he was freed up, the Saints went back to him again. So his third time the charm. Well, Devine is getting the starting reps at running back, not Tony Jones Jr. Is that something to look at? I know it's early on, but just something to stick in your mind. Zigbo got the starting reps at running back with no Kamara or Ingram. Dennis Allen said after the practice it was important for anyone to be here at OTAs to get work in. When asked about Zigbo getting more work and how it could help him out. Now, we just played that part, and he spoke really well of Devine Zigbo and what he could do. And like I said myself, Devine Zigbo is a very good young running back. He does a lot of the things you would like him to do. He catches the ball well out the backfield. He's strong enough to and does a good job of blocking. He also is a guy that can run inside or outside. He can run over you or run around you. He's very decisive. His cuts are quick. He got a gear, and he'll run away from you. So Devontae Zigbo is a guy a lot of people don't really are talking about, but he could be a person that Dennis Allen leans on in that offense. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's very early, though. Punt return work included Chris Olave. Chris Olave working at the punt return. We don't expect him to stay there, but Aesop Winston, who did well there when Deontay Hardy was out of there. Marquez Callaway, we know he has that, and Jarvis Landry was getting a little in there. Now, Rashid Shaheed was around that group, but stated he was not participating. I have to look and see if what's going on with him. Now, Daniel Sorensen and Justin Evans, these are two safeties that we picked up during this off season, were primary guys to work out on punts as the up back. Now that's the punt protector. Now it's not going to make a ton of headlines, but we look at everything with these observations, which is cool because remember, Sorensen has good special team acumen. And that's where the Saints are bringing them in. They want to fortify them special teams. So not only the Saints defense make another jump into the elite level, the Saints offense will definitely make another jump. Just stay healthy, guys, to start and do the professional stuff that we know that they can do. And the special teams also will make another jump. So it's going to be fantastic, to be honest with you. And then the 11-on-11 drill saw Andy Dalton, Ian Book at quarterback. We showed some footage of that just earlier. Defense had a better day. In particular, Andrew Dowell had a good pass breakup for Kirk Merritt, the undrafted wide receiver, over the middle, while Nephi Sewell had a breakup of his own and a near interception against Khalique Washington, which is the tight end the Saints picked up not too long ago. Ian Book was quarterback for both. Now, offensively, one of the best plays came on a wheel route to Devontae Zigbo, who got behind Eric Wilson, who is the veteran linebacker the Saints picked up for a big sideline hookup. And then there were several plays in which the pocket collapsed and forced quarterbacks to scramble. They realistically would have been a sack or a coverage sack. Now, looking at Daniel Whelan, who's the punter, handled the punting duties for Blake Gillikin, who's they're talking about. Now, and then on the 7-on-7 drills, Jameis Winston got the bulk of the reps, finishing with 8 total, and Dalton and Book got a couple each. Now, the highlight of the day came from, he says a takeaway from day will start with Dylan Mabin, who's the cornerback, or undrafted cornerback, former practice squad player who had a nice pass break on the Chris Olave from Jameis Winston. Jarvis Landry didn't disappoint in one of his reps. Landry was being held by Vincent Gray, undrafted defensive back, but still managed to make a one-handed catch on a short route. That's the type of things you expect from the veteran. The play produced a little spirited conversation after the play, but Landry came out on top. He had a later catch on a slant in the 7-on-7s and made a good cut inside on Jordan Miller, another defensive back, undrafted guy. Now, Bryce Thompson, another undrafted defensive back, had an interception on Jameis Winston on an unintended deep ball to Quan Baker, the former 7th-round draft pick. In the end zone, he made a nice catch to secure the pick. So Bryce Thompson was a guy last year, if you remember, family, who was doing good plays in practice and in the camps. He was doing some good work then. The kid's very heady. And hopefully he's going to continue to improve. Caden Ellis had a good pass break on Jawan Johnson on the pass breakup on Jawan Johnson today, which the ball was thrown by Andy Dalton. It ended up hitting him in the helmet on a fade route deep near the end of the end zone. Ellis was in great position to make the play, and that was encouraging sign for him. JT Gray had an outstanding individual play on the 11-on-11 drills. He broke up a deep sideline. Andy Dalton passed near the sideline with one hand and ended up tipping it to himself for the pick. JT Gray coming off that Pro Bowl bid as a special teams ace. Gunner work, special teams. It's hard not to preference everything. It's still early, but some of the roster camp battles will come down to special teams. JT Gray will need a new partner in crime going into the season. And some of the players to get some work at the gunner position included Traquan Smith. There you go. Kevin White trying to make the team as a gunner. Quan Baker, which, I had to put my money on him, if anything. But then again, you got DeJohn Dixon, Kirk Merritt, Alante Taylor. Watch out for him. Paulson Debo, Bryce Thompson, Vincent Gray, and DeMarcus Fields. So special teams, a lot of those guys are not going to be on the team. But you say Traquan Smith trying to add that extra special teams value there. And Kevin White, man, it's going to be hard pressed. And then, of course, the standout player goes to Jarvis Landry. It was hard not to mention here. But Bryce Thompson is someone who had a good day. He was converted to a safety last year and had a nice camp until he got hurt in the final preseason game. He had an interception on Winston, some good coverage on 7-on-7, and had several reps on special teams. Yes, indeed. Bryce Thompson played really well last training camp and throughout the camps. And like he said, the injuries kind of stalled him out. But it's good to see that he's back on the team. A young player with a lot of potential. So that's some of the news, notes, and observations from this OTA period. Let's move into the next article. Is provided from our friends at the Canal Street Chronicles. As this was called, Saints sign undrafted free agent offensive lineman Khalique, I hope I'm saying his name, Khalique Washington, to a 3-year deal. Per source, the Saints have agreed to a 3-year deal with Khalique Washington, who attended post-draft camps with New Orleans and Baltimore. New Orleans Saints have signed one of their post-draft minicamp attendees to a 3-year deal. This is this player's offensive lineman Khalique Washington out of Southern Miss, who has some of the more intriguing versatility of the Saints undrafted free agents. The signing was announced by Washington's agent Brett Tessler earlier this morning, which included the length of the contract as well. 3-year deal. They must have been impressed with him. Khalique has been seen in New Orleans Saints minicamps over the past few days and has worn the number 63, which is what what's his name? Remember Cam Tom that used to play for the Saints? He was from Southern Miss as well, and I think he wore number 63 because that's kind of weird, man. That Cameron Tom, the Saints let him go last year, and then you get another Southern Miss guy. And Cam Tom comes in, he takes his number. But anyway, he spent 3 years playing college football for the Southern Miss Golden Eagles before declaring for the draft this offseason, going undrafted, as previously stated. The most intriguing part of this deal, realistically, is the length of the contract, as 3-year deals are relatively uncommon for an unsigned, undrafted free agent late in the draft process. It most certainly is not common. Versatility is likely the factor that led to this deal being so long. However, Khalique has played at both guard and tackle position and has proven to be effective at both of them. Also interesting enough, Washington also played basketball at the high school level, having a type of athleticism to play both sports. It's not for everyone, and it's something that is not necessarily common for offensive linemen. This will make him an even more interesting prospect for the Saints as they watch him develop even further as an offensive lineman over the span of his 3-year deal. His size at the position is also worth noting, as he's the right body to play guard or tackle at the NFL level as well. He was measured at the pro day at 6'4", 313 pounds, with 10-inch hands and 77 and the 1/8 wingspan, which all averaged above average for offensive linemen. Washington played in the total 30 games in college. Once again, Saints always looking at that collegiate game. 30 games, that's a lot of games to play at the collegiate level. And the Saints undrafted guys are littered and loaded with a lot of college play, a lot of experience at the collegiate level. With the right tackle being his primary position in 21 campaign, with his noted he projects best as a guard at the next level, as he works best in small areas where he can get his feet set and anchored against the defensive line. His hands are one of the more notable qualities as a pass protector, as he's able to quickly get his hands into the defender's chest and keep himself upright against the most powerful rushing moves. So the Saints might found a diamond in the rough by picking up Mr. Khalique Washington. It'll be interesting to see what's going on with that. Very interesting signing with this guy, man. A 3-year deal. Hopefully this turns out better than what the Saints did when he wasn't undrafted, which I don't think he was. I don't think he was drafted when they signed Nick Burnett from he came on when he got cut by Denver. Coach Payton picked him up. Brother Pat Rich said this season is going to be the shirts versus the blouses. Let me tell you something, but thank you for that, Brother Pat Rich. It's interesting, man, to see that. So whatever Washington did for the black and gold when he came in on trial really impressed him. But when you give him a 3-year deal, you start looking around. You start looking at the Saints depth chart at the tackle and guard position. And let me tell you something. They are loaded insofar as young talent and unproven guys. When you talk about guys the Saints have, it's going to be tough sledding. And then, of course, you have to look at some players here and wonder if they'll be on the team, to be quite honest with you. Like if you take a look at, and we'll go over one particular player next, where we talked about and I thank Jeremy Trottier for a great piece right there, giving us some good information on Khalique Washington. But what's intriguing and awesome about this sign is the fact that the Saints are not playing in the games. They're trying to find that right talent. And they got a lot of guys here, especially on the offensive line, and that's backing up those 5 starters. Saints ain't playing, man. You know, Cesar Ruiz, we know Doug Marone's in the building, but Cesar Ruiz, my goodness, man, you're going to have to step it up, bro. Bro, that's what that tells me. And Kevin sent me some information about that. And I agree with you, GM Kev, that yes, Ruiz is going Ruiz, you better step it up. You better step it up, Ruiz. The Saints, I don't know if they got a loan. They're going to be patient with him, but I guess for this year to see where he is. But my goodness, let's see. Hopefully, it's going to have to be a mega jump for Ruiz because the competition behind them, boy, they coming. They're coming. They're coming for you. So we'll see. It's fantastic, though. I love the competition because ultimately it's going to make everybody better. That's what it is. And then you'll get the best players or the best players on the field because of the competition pushing people for those positions. It's a handful of jobs that's actually open. All right, if any. Zack Baun doesn't fit with the Saints. This is from Chris Donalds of the same site as well. And what's intriguing is the fact that it says Zack Baun. It's aptly named. Zack Baun doesn't fit in the 2022 Saints. And this is another brother we talked about as well. Dennis Allen had difficulties trying to figure a way to incorporate him in the defense over the last couple of years. We talked about maybe a situational pass rush role that never truly developed. And then there are guys that you're drafting like Pete Werner's coming here and then he went right past them. And then, of course, you got, guys like Jackson they're picking up, so ultimately, and of course, I'm expecting them to bring Quan Alexander back. Zack Baun, man, hey, listen, this is it's getting tough for him, for guys like Zack Baun and Cesar Ruiz, man. They got to step it up, man. They most certainly got to step it up. All right, so let's see what Chris Donalds has to say about him. Says maybe consider trading him to a team that could use him, perhaps. There's still plenty of ways for the Saints to improve their situation. Maybe the team signs a veteran defensive tackle, tight end, or running back to help add depth to the roster. Maybe they extend a player already under contract to a long-term deal to keep that player tied to New Orleans longer. Maybe they even improve the team by cutting bait with a player who is wasting a roster spot on the team's active roster. Zack Baun was a former third-round pick in 2020. Remember, the Saints gave up extra picks to move up to grab Zack Baun, but he is yet to earn a starting role in New Orleans Saints with the Saints after 2 years in the league. That's why Bleacher Report suggests trading away Baun is one of the moves the Saints should do before the season starts. How about that? Now let's see what the Bleacher Report mentions about it. It says Zack Baun doesn't seem like a clean fit with the New Orleans Saints. Baun broke out as an edge rusher during his final year at Wisconsin, logging in 12.5 sacks, 19.5 tackles for a loss, but the Saints have utilized him as an off-ball linebacker. The 25-year-old has played on the strong side and weak side, but has made little impact at both positions. Through 2 seasons, Baun had recorded 42 tackles, 29 of which were solo, and only 1 for a loss in 32 games, 7 starts. Pete Werner, the 21 second-rounder, has already surpassed him on the depth chart. The Saints may not want to give up a third-rounder from only 2 years ago, especially one with pass rush ability, but they have tried to put a square peg in a round hole with Baun's fit in the defense. New coach Dennis Allen, who served as the Saints' full-time defensive coordinator since 2016 before being promoted to replace Coach Payton, should end his failed experiment and move on. At 6'3", 225, Baun doesn't have the size and strength to rush off the edge and an even man front. Perhaps a team using an odd man front can employ Baun as a designated pass rush outside linebacker. It's hard to fault the logic too much, but trade away player X is far easier said than done. There's obviously has been an interesting team for Baun that would be willing to pay any sort of premium for a player who could easily be signed off the street if the Saints released them before week 1. But then, if you find an interested team, what would they pay? A mid-round pick seems like a high price the Saints could reasonably expect, but maybe a change of scenery option for different teams that perhaps would be a doable option. So it's not often such a trade occurs in the NFL outside of Madden franchise mode, but if 2 teams recognize a lack of fit with players on their roster, maybe each could see an opportunity in the other. Now, of course, if the Saints were able to, if they attempt to trade away Baun, another wide receiver seems like an easy solution. There are multiple teams in the NFL who has players like Baun who expected to be contributors who have yet to find sustained success with the team that drafted them. How about wide receiver LaVista Shenault of the Jaguars could be a candidate after Jacksonville recently added Zay Jones and Christian Kirk to their wide receiver room. Shenault was a second-round pick in the same draft as Baun when Baun went into the 3rd round, so it might take adding a future late-round pick to convince teams to take the deal, but if both sides will be willing, fit seems obvious. So I don't know. I don't think the Saints trade Zack Baun. I don't see why would they give up a pick to move Zack Baun. I mean, it simply probably it would make some sense just to simply kind of clear him out. But yes, up to this point, the writer's right on this. Zack Baun has really not found his place. Now, last year when they brought in Pete Warner to the fold, he was trailing. Remember last offseason, he was out training with the Watt brothers, JJ and TJ Watt. And when he came into the season, he was looking really good. It's just Pete Werner had a more natural fit at that position. Zack Baun kind of, looked good. He looked better than he's looked before in the Saints uniform. It's just Pete Werner was a natural. He just went right past him at that position. And he kind of just stalled back, and they have not really found a role for Zack Baun. That's the whole thing. But you see all these other guys. So the Saints, whether or not I don't think they trade Zack Baun. I mean, like, there's not much of a market for him. But perhaps they find a role for him in the defense. I don't know what it could possibly be either, fam. I don't know. But if you call it for Quan Alexander to come back, that just furtherly displaces Zack Baun. And it does give you a guy on the depth chart who can come in and play special teams for you. But, I mean, yeah, the Saints gave up some capital to move up against Zack Baun that year and haven't found a role for him. So this is very true, man, about Zack Baun. And perhaps we'll know soon, this upcoming year about Cesar Ruiz. So these are two curious picks that from the Coach Payton era that are looks like they're mismatches. Well, injuries occur though, so it might keep him around for depth purposes, but I don't know, fam. Yeah, it ain't looking good for Zack Baun. He's gonna have to step it up, man, and show something else, man. He's gonna have to step it up big time. He coming into his third year now? What is it, third year now? Yeah, he has to step up and show out, man. He has to. Same with Cesar Ruiz, man. Cesar Ruiz is approaching his third year, I want to say. Yeah, Ruiz. I think Baun might have been. I forget, but the reality is, I know Cesar Ruiz is stepping into this year. He needs to step up. There's a lot of competition for his job, and the same with Zack Baun, who's already lost his position. If Quan Alexander returns, and hopefully he will, that further pushes Zack Baun to just relegate him to a reserve linebacker role. And in case of player, if somebody gets hurt, then Zack Baun can step in and fill in to the best of his ability. But it ain't looking good for Zack Baun or Cesar Ruiz, man. But at least Cesar Ruiz has a starting position right now, But we'll see. What do you guys think about it, man? Zack Baun looking tough. Looking tough for him. All right, what's up, Reginald? He said, Big Q, I told you the Saints need a offensive tackle, wide receiver in the first round. Olavi and Juice would be hard to handle with Mike too. Look out for the smoke on offense. See things great for Jameis. Who that? Okay, thank you, Reginald. Appreciate you with that commentary, man. Much love to you. All right, big ups to the fam. Brother John says trade Zack to the pack. Trade Zack to the pack. Okay, I got you. I kind of added that last part in there, but I got you, bro. I got you, John. They would love him up there. That's where they probably recognize him from Wisconsin, so you might have a point on that, And I think wasn't the Wisconsin defensive coordinator, the Wisconsin coach or somebody, he took over the defensive coordinator job for the Green Bay Packers, didn't he? The guy from Wisconsin, he took over that defensive coordinator position. I want to say, so it might be a fit for them up there. You might have a point on that. Trade Zack to the pack. There you go. We can start the hashtag trade Zack to the pack. I don't think the Saints lose him right now, because you never know with injuries and all that stuff start mounting up, and you never know, man, with the C-19. The Saints might just hold on to him, We'll see. All right, we'll see. All right, who that says Ruiz, Baun, Troutman, all in the same class? Yeah, Ruiz. Wasn't that a really peculiar draft class, fam? You start the draft off by reaching at Ruiz, and then in the third round you grab Zack Baun, and both the players at the top of that draft class are mismatches. That's it's weird, man. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, I thought maybe the Cesar Ruiz thing wouldn't be so bad if it just wasn't for him moving them to guard. I think that's stalling out his development. Maybe if you left him at center, he can show you some stuff. He had some pretty decent games at center, not so much at guard. So I don't get why they're trying to force him to be a guard. I thought you were supposed to work on the best I thought that was the mentality. I thought the mentality was to know what your player could do and magnify their best qualities for the team. I thought that was the correct course of action. Not try to force somebody to do something that they can't do. I don't understand that. I don't get that. I really don't. I don't get that. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, Cesar Ruiz, you know he's dealing with confidence issues. It's all in his play. It's all in his play. So I'm like, okay, he's not comfortable doing that. I know you got Doug Marone's a hell of an offensive line coach, but you're supposed to focus in on the best characteristics of your player. The man is not a guard. He doesn't have a history of playing a guard. Not everybody can perform and do multiple positions like Andrews Pete did for you. You know, and sometimes as a coach, you have to see the limitations of your players. Right now, he can't do that, but maybe he can help you at the center position. At least try it, you know, and then if it don't work, switch McCoy back. It's not like you losing anything. McCoy will still know how to play the center position and the guard position. But I just think it's a lot to ask for Cesar Ruiz right now to learn the guard position. Right now, and then you got all that competition. The Saints like, oh, we got you, patting him on his back. Oh, you're going to be fine. And then they signed this Khalique Washington player and brought him up here on a 3-year deal. He plays the guard position. You think he's going to be challenging at the tackle? No, this guy's main position is a guard. I'll tell you, watch out, man. The bottom line is Zack Baun, right, is a backup. The Saints spent a lot. He didn't develop in the Saints system. They never found a role for him. It's almost, I ain't gonna say it's to the point where it's almost like Khalique Kakaha. Y'all remember that? Remember Khalique Kakaha, who led the college that year with sacks? He had what, like 18, 19 sacks that year? Saints drafted him in the 2nd round. He had multiple injuries to both lower extremities. Both lower extremities. When he was healthy, the Saints converted him to a stand-up linebacker, when the best thing the man did was put his hand in the sand and rush the quarterback. Saints turned him into a stand-up linebacker. They couldn't find a role for these players, and that's the job of the coach and the coaches around. They have to figure out a role, because the player can practice all the time, but you got to have a vision for what you want this player to do. What is the vision for Zack Baun? You see what I'm saying? And what is the vision for him? You know? What is the vision for Cesar Ruiz? He was a center. You know, he's a center. He's not a guard. If he was a guard in the draft, that dude would have been drafted probably in the 4th or 5th round last year. He's not a guard. So to try to force him into something that he's not comfortable, I just don't. I know you paying him. Well, you're going to do what we tell you to do because we giving you the money. You can take that approach, but that don't mean that's necessarily going to work. Sometimes you got to see the strengths and limitations of the players that you coach, and that's what a good coach does. A good coach is not going to push a player that he's looking at and sees that he's not comfortable at that and force him to do something he's not comfortable, unless he gets him to a place where he can see the game and say, okay, you're ready now to walk through that door. Now you can do this and make them see that. Not just go here, you go up here, you make this cut outside and you go here. No, most of the coaches, they break down every little set. The reason why you're going to go here is because this guy, the reason why you come in here, because we got this guy going out. And when he goes out, he's going to take this player with him, the safety with him. And when you cut outside, this whole area of the field will be open for you. So when you break hard, remember, when you run in this route, dig in like you going in, but then cut out. So if you got a guy on you, then, you know, and then all that is explained. And you got, oh, I understand why we doing what we doing, not the fact that we just routinely just doing these plays. It has to be a deeper understanding for the player to understand what's the purpose of me running this particular type of route versus this particular type of route. What's the philosophy behind it? Really good coaches get in depth. Now, really good coaches get in depth. They don't just say, hey, just go run this and then do this and then you good. No, they explain the game. You got to explain the game. Take the time and explain the game to the players. And when you're doing all this scouting, you look at the players that you're teaching that's in your room, and you can see where ones are up here and some that are here and some that there. You can see the deficiencies, the pluses and minuses in their games, and what you individually have to do to get these people at the same level, even though they're not at the same level. You get me? You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, if I'm the wide receiver coach, if I'm Cody Burns and I'm looking at the wide receivers and I'm looking at Mike Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, and all these guys, I'm saying, damn, these guys, they got it together. These guys up here. But the lesser known guys that's coming on the team, you know, they don't have that same understanding of the game as the rest of these guys. And you have to try like hell to make them understand the game like a Mike Thomas or Jarvis Landry, even though they might not have the athletic ability or the God-given ability of a Jarvis Landry or Chris Olave or Mike Thomas. But you would have to get them from a mental perspective to understand the game as close as you can to a Mike Thomas. You see what I'm saying? Or a Jarvis Landry. It's because sometimes you never know if somebody gets hurt, you might have to get them to that aspect because it's a part of understanding the game. A good player that talked about that was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Several years ago, I played Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? Was it the year before last? When he changed his name, remember when he went CD Deuce and it was explaining the game. And then when you later on during the offseason, when players came in and he was talking to young defensive backs, he began to explain the game. And he did a real good breakdown of how he would talk to cornerbacks, younger cornerbacks, to make them understand what it's about, what they needed to do. Y'all remember that? I played that. Y'all remember that? We covered that. That's the type of stuff that you would do. That separates the really good coaches from the coaches that's their collective, just collecting the check, because they got them there too. But mostly on the black and gold, you got in-depth coaches that want to see the players thrive. In order to get them to thrive, to see the game differently, you got to go deeper and explaining them what's the purpose and concepts and precepts of some of these routes that they're creating. This is done to do this to the defense, and what I need you to do is do this, that, and you see what I'm saying? That's the explaining the professor area of the game that most of our players need to get on. So we got great players, and that's like what Jarvis was saying about Cody Burns, how he explains the game from a coach's perspective. He says it's really unique, and then the articulation. So not only do you know what you're looking at, but also the fact that you can then take what you are teaching and then being able to articulate it to the players in a digestible way where each player has to get it and then consume it and then put it into their games. And then also remember that you can't come at them with a cookie cutter approach for every wide receiver, that each person, I guess, training is individualized, which means I can't give you a plan that's made for 985 Live and then give it over here to T-Rob and say, here you go, T-Rob. This, he said, hold on, this is 985 Live's game. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has they have their own way. If you're a good trainer, you got to know and understand how to approach each player with their own situation, because they are all at different levels. You get me? So, I mean, we got some really good coaches, but I say all that to say is that what's the role for a guy like Zack Baun, and how could the Saints take advantage of his abilities, of the things that he does well? That's what it comes down to. And I don't think the Saints really did a good job of kind of including or kind of integrating Zack Baun into the defense. Like, even when the defensive line was hurting a couple of years ago, when guys were hurt, the Saints still didn't use Zack Baun in a situational pass rusher role, even when they had defensive linemen out for it, even as a situational pass rusher, just to get pressure on the quarterback, they didn't use him. And he just sat there. He'll come in backup reps. But outside of that, what's the role when you give up capital for a player like that? You're thinking starter, but the guys are backup and guys are coming and shooting past him. So you got to have a vision. When you drafting these players, you don't just be sitting up there punching buttons and saying, I'll just take him. I'm bored. Whatever, I'll take him. No, you got to see these players, look at their tape, see how they fit into your system and how they could work for you. And like oftentimes, Coach Payton did a wonderful job in drafting people, but some of the misses were very bad. When he missed bad. And a lot of it was just dumbass thinking, to be honest with you. It was just bad thinking. The Cesar Ruiz thing didn't make any sense because he was trying to get, I keep forgetting this damn man's name, Larry Warford. He was trying to get Larry Warford out the door. Larry Warford had 1 year left on the contract. And then he was talking about, it was about the money. I covered all that shit. He used several excuses why he was trying to get Larry Warford out the door. First of all, Larry was going to retire. Larry Warford put out a tweet saying, I'm not retiring. I intend to play my final year in the NFL. He had 1 year left on the contract. And he was like, he's going to retire. He put out a social media tweet. We covered it on the Sports Coma, saying that, I intend to play my final year, such and such, that. Larry Warford is a multiple Pro Bowler offensive lineman. And then next thing you know, we need the money. Y'all remember that? We need the money. Remember that? If Larry Warford was making $8 million. He's a Pro Bowler. What you trying to do? But ultimately, what he did was, it was one of the moves where it was almost like they fixed Jen. on Larry Warford and say, you the reason why we lost to the Minnesota Vikings, because nobody else got their asses cut that year. It was Larry Warford was the one they got cut, and then they brought Cesar Ruiz up in there. I mean, that's how it went. And see, when you start bad, you're going to end bad. That's how that went. He started it off bad. That was the wrong move to make, and now we still suffering to this day because they still playing Cesar Ruiz out of position. You start bad and it ends bad. You start off bad, it's going to end bad. That's how it works. And we still suffering from that. We still don't have the vision to be able to understand. Please don't put Cesar Ruiz at guard. At least play him at center. We still looking at it saying we got Trevor Pinion as a blindside tackle for Jameis Winston, who's coming off of major injuries. Please don't do that. Please at least put Ramczyk on his blind side. Let Pinion play the right side. I mean, why is this? You don't do that to Jameis Winston. Because if something happens, God forbid, then they're going to be sitting up here looking stupid as hell. Just like when they put Cesar Ruiz out there that year and Contavious Street beat him like he stole something, went right past him. He wasn't even in the picture. That boy laid on top of Drew Brees and flattened him out like it was tar in the New Orleans street. Flattened him out. Flattened him. People was fussing at Cesar Ruiz. Oh, you sorry. No. Don't point at him. Point at your coach, because that's the dude that put him up there. That guy's not a guard, man. I say all that to say is that the fact that we still suffering from bad decisions based on the Cesar Ruiz thing and the Zack Baun thing. None of these players fit with what we doing. And that's a lot of that's the fault of the team for not putting them in the correct role or finding a role that fits them. When you drafted them, it should have been a role there for them. And if there's no role for them, then get them out of here and find somebody that fit what you need to do. You see what I'm saying? What's the role from Zack Baun? I can't tell you what his role is, fam. What his role? He's a backup ass 3rd round pick. That shouldn't even be the case. At this point, he should be pushing for a starter position. Could he come in with a different mentality and kind of do this thing? Maybe if the Saints don't get Kwon Alexander, it might mean something like that. But I want Kwon back. Kwon already fits. You chasing championships. You know, about time you sign Kwon Alexander to a 2-year deal. Zack Baun's out of here. You know, now you can keep him for depth because he don't cost a lot of money. But at the same time, man, what's the role of Zack Baun? That's the question I ask. What's the role from Zack Baun? And then the Saints, you keep Cesar Ruiz at guard and then bringing in other guys that probably going to lap him at the guard position. Bringing in undrafted guys with 3-year contracts. And then you got guys like Lamp, who was a 2nd round draft pick with the Chargers several years ago, who the only reason he's not out there now is because he had injuries and they got rid of him because he had some injuries. But the man's 100% healthy now. And he's a guy that knows how to play the guard position. I keep warning you about Lamp, the backup offensive lineman. He's good. So, I mean, we're going to see, man, because like I said, Ruiz is Cesar Ruiz, man. He got competition for that job. He got competition. This is a Super Bowl team. You either bring it or you're going to have to get up out of there. You're going to have to get up out of there. I'm just keeping the trail in the buck with you. But anyway, let me get a few comments here, fam, before I dirk up out of here, man. That's the articles we're going to cover on the show. But that's the role. What are the role of these guys? We ain't just grabbing guys out of the air. You see, well, I see a role for this guy. I could put him here. I can put him here. I can use him here. And this is something that he's accustomed to playing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are those situations where you'll have a guy that never played that position before, and then he'll come in and play and do well. Andrews Pete was a current example of that, when Andrews Pete was a guy that they moved him all the way around on the offensive line, and he played every position except for center. He had multiple Pro Bowls at the guard position. So it does work sometimes, but the majority of the time it doesn't work. And you can't do that with everybody, as Cesar Ruiz is showing you. We'll see, man. That's a tough position for a young player to be in, boy. I really feel bad for that kid, man. I really do. All right, because if it ain't Saints hedging their bets, man. They fortifying the just watch something else. All right, let's keep it going, fam. Much love. All right, what's up, Muse? How you doing, Muse? Good to see you, baby. Much love to the queens up in here and the kings. I don't want to leave y'all out too, fellas. Much love to y'all. All right, Jarrell said we should have drafted Pat Queen that year. Yep. You and GM Kev on the same light there, brother Jarrell, when he talked about Pat Queen balling off for Baltimore. Every time we look at the Pat Queen handling the business, but once again, we didn't look at LSU guys, did we? But that's the stubbornness of what Coach Payton represented. We know we had Coach Payton here for years, and then it was points and times you couldn't tell him nothing. He was just, no, he was gonna do it, And then at some point, he got so high in the organization that he can make mistakes and not even care about what happened. You know, the media wouldn't press him too hard. The Great Saint Think Tank and the Sports Coma was the ones coming for his head. Remember them shows who was coming for his head, and people forming a Sean Payton brigade around him, a giant circle around him to protect him while he's sitting up there making it. I'm sitting up there saying, where the Super Bowl's at, bro? And people say, you wouldn't have but one Super Bowl if it wasn't for Coach Payton. That's fine. That's cool. I'm cool with that. But where the rest of them at? Oh, you just got one. And I'm like, man, listen, bro, cut this bullshit out. This is a goddamn football coach. And actually, he works for your ass. So what the hell you doing protecting him? He should be standing up there protecting you. You paying him. But that's the question I was asked is like, okay, some of these moves was made because he knew ain't nobody was going to press him on it. Let's keep it a buck. You knew Coach Payton. Nobody was pushing Coach Payton. When he was making these decisions right here, he knew people wasn't going to press him like that. And he had a lot of the media people in check. I covered that all the time. Nobody was pushing for him. And when he made these mistakes, a lot of this stuff he knew he would get away for. Would get away for. What was the pressure? There was no pressure. There was no pressure except for what the Great Saint Think Tank and certain people was looking past that program thought process and saying, listen, I appreciate what you did on this one, but where the rest of them at, fam? We top 10 every year in the offense, but in here, top 10 here, top 10 here, where the rest of the trophies at? Where they at? We was asking those questions. Well, you wouldn't have that one if it wasn't. Yes, we get that, but where the rest of them at? Can we have some more, please? Are we supposed to eat one time? We supposed to eat one meal for the rest of our lives? No, we... Goddamn Patriots ate 6 times. They ate 6 times. We only allowed to eat one time. But I'm saying at the end of the day, there was no pressure there. There was no pressure on him. And that's always not a good thing. When you got a person sitting there, as long as he sit, you always got to put heat to him. You always got to have heat on him. You got to always keep pressure on him because he'll sit there, get too comfortable and start doing stuff like fussing at the butcher because the butcher said, why you had that dumbass play? Well, don't worry about that. The valet asked him what you did that for. Oh, you parked this car. Don't worry about it. That's what started happening when you start letting people make it. When they start getting comfortable and too chummy, they start talking. Man, I wasn't having that, man. You ain't gonna talk to them people like that. You're not gonna do it. And it's just what it was, man. But yeah, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is these choices that we make with Zack Baun and Cesar Ruiz as a result of a poor draft. A poor situation with the draft there. Now, there are other moves that panned out, but like I said, the Cesar Ruiz thing, man, that really came back to bite us in the tail. So hopefully we rectify both these positions moving into the future. And 9 times out of 10, these will correct themselves anyway. If these players are not ready to play this year, they'll find themselves off the team anyway. You know, so nature will take care of itself, right? It'll do. Anyway, so with that being said, man, yeah, I remember Diablo. I remember, fam. Yeah, I remember the 90s. I remember. All right, so Seth Griffith says, am I the only one ready to see Pete Werner, who had the 3rd highest impact grade for the linebackers, only behind Demario Davis and Darius Leonard? And Q, I didn't want Werner. I wanted Jabril Cox. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Pete Werner was a good player. When you looked at the film, I knew he was good. A lot of people wanted Jabril Cox, but don't sell him short. Cox is doing all right with Dallas. They converted him to a safety out there with him, and he's gonna be doing some positive stuff for him. But at the end of the day, the Pete Werner thing wasn't it? I think it's the fact that the constant picking of Ohio State players kind of got old. You know, that got really old with a lot of people, man. There's so many other universities. Why you keep going over here? But I mean, like I said, he wasn't the fact that we was against Pete Werner or people was against Pete Werner. It's the fact that you had other players on the board that wasn't Ohio State players. You just kept going to the same thing. In doubt, pick Ohio State. You know, in doubt. Oh, you need a tight end? Well, we ain't got one out of Ohio State, but Denver released Nick Vannett. Let's give him a 3-year contract. And what Nick Vannett doing right now? Absolutely shit. Nick Vannett couldn't catch a cold, man. Let me tell you. A big wide receiver, a 6'6", 6'7", play like he's 6'1", 6'2". You got guys at 6 feet tall guarding a 6'6", 6'7" tight end. He dropping the ball. I'm like, what? How's that work? That remind me of Brandon Coleman a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. That remind me of Brandon Coleman. All right. So anyway, big ups to the fam. All right, so let's keep it going. Bryson Big Q, what kind of jersey are you wearing this year? Are you wearing a t-shirt? New Orleans. I'm gonna have some jerseys going on, fam. I got some sports coma gear that'll be coming up. I'm gonna start putting together maybe next week or the next coming up soon, man. I'm putting together some gift packs for the family members, man, for a certain amount of people and send them out to them with hats and shirts and sports coma memorabilia. That'll be coming up soon. I've been working on some projects, man, to get that done. So yeah, it'd probably be a mixture of both sports coma gear as well as Saints gear. Y'all know how I do. All right, I'm on my Pelican stuff right now. I'm in Pelican mind mode right now. Yes, you can tell. The draft coming up, man, and I'm just excited about the Pelicans and the Saints, to be honest with you, fam. I'm just loving it right now, you know, loving it. All right, brother says Q, why you playing Nick Vannett lead the team and receive just what? I said, listen, Nick Vannett, bro, listen, potentially when they signed Nick Vannett, I was like, you know what? Nick Vannett's a guy that can block. He can do some stuff. Nick Vannett didn't come onto the scene. He was hurt all the way the entire year. He came on, toward the back end of the season, mid to back end of the season. And then he had a few good plays, and then he disappeared. You know, there was no sticking power there. And the Saints were counting on him because they had Juwan Johnson deactivated at times toward the back end of the season. So they were kind of leaning on him. Adam Troutman got kind of banged up there. And the tight end room was suffering. But Nick Vannett's the veteran of the tight end room, so he has to be, to a degree, the mainstay there. But you know, I was pushing to have more of a veteran tight end, you know, that can steady the room. Somebody you can learn from. Nick Vannett's not an accomplished tight end to me, you know. Watching him, maybe he does better this upcoming year. But my goodness, man, I'm thinking to myself, I was like, man, this guy is 6'6", and guys that are 5'11" and 6 feet tall are giving him problems. I don't understand that, man. He should be playing a lot better than that. There's no reason why a guy that big should be letting guys that are 6 feet tall interrupt him from catching the ball. He's 6'6", and when he jumps, I'm pretty sure he can jump over the goddamn guy head, unless he got unless he's stiff as hell. I don't understand, you know. And when we got him, Coach Payton said, "I love this guy." I gave him a 3-year deal, right out the gate. Like, who is this guy that you're giving him? Now I looked it up and found out he was Ohio State tight end. I was like, oh shit, here we go again. So it work out. Sometimes it don't work out. You see what I'm saying, fam? But we need more competition in the tight end room. You know, I like Taysom Hill adding that to the room because a lot of people happy that he ain't playing the quarterback position anymore. But you're probably going to see Taysom all over the place, to be honest. You're going to see him in the wide receiver role. They're going to experiment and move Taysom. His home is the tight end room, which the tight end room does need some help. So I'm thinking hopefully the Saints can bring a veteran tight end onto the book. I was saying Kyle Rudolph, somebody that can come in and kind of provide some competition, a veteran. You know, I know Rudolph ain't as fast as, you know, he don't have that athleticism, but he catches and he can block. You know, so, and Nick Vannett is not exactly athletic either, but Vannett has to step up, man. The tight end room as a whole has to step up this year, for real. Adam Troutman, they fixating on him because he's a 3rd-round draft pick. He has to step up and show out. There's no more excuses for you, Adam Troutman. You have to step up, show out for the tight ends. The rest of them, Juwan Johnson had a good development there. He has to keep ascending there. Taysom Hill's going to provide something in that room. But Nick Vannett going to have to step his ass up too, man. When he's called upon, he's going to have to catch those passes. And hopefully he can jump over a 5'11" cornerback and he's 6'7" and make a catch. I mean, hopefully, man. Damn. Yeah, there you go, Eric. Eric says, and Lucas Krull is going to, yeah, how about that? Lucas could be a guy that you can bring in there, another undrafted guy, man. Yeah, but we need some talent, and we need somebody to kind of handle up in the tight end room, man. Because listen, fam, the wide receivers are fantastic. They are. They're really good. That's the big question mark is what's the tight end. A lot of pressure is not going to be, a lot of pressure, I guess, because of the wide receiver room being so talented, that a lot of the eyes are not on the tight end room. So a lot of people are not going to be calling upon the tight ends to do enough except for blocking and this, that, and the third. But if Adam Troutman is starting for him, and he probably will, Troutman's going to be able to see a lot of opportunities where he's going to be wide open, fam. He's going to be standing there wide open because you're looking at doubling Mike Thomas. You got Jarvis Landry in the slot. You got Chris Olave taking the top off the defense. And when Elvin comes back, you got him running around there. Troutman's going to be standing there like, man, I'm wide open all the time. Yeah, I'm telling you. Troutman, it just has to catch the ball, man, and wake the hell up. You see what I'm saying? The pressure's really off him thanks to a lot of these great wide receiver signings that the Saints have, man. Yeah, but we need better production out of the tight end room, family. Y'all are absolutely right. And Taysom Hill does help in that room, man. He does. But we need Troutman to step up. We need Nick Vannett to handle the business too, man. Nick Vannett, please learn how to catch a pass over a 5'11" or 6 foot tall cornerback. And you are 6'6", bro. You are 6'6", and they got 6'1" cornerbacks. You know, what's the tallest cornerback that you might play in the league? 6'3". You still got them beat, and you can't jump up and I'm gonna leave it alone, man. Yeah, Gregory, even Eric Ebron. These guys will come. They're not going to be expensive to get these guys, but I wouldn't be mad to get a veteran in there like that, you know, to kind of help out in the room. Because I've seen enough of Nick Vannett. I'm like, nah, man, I don't know. You here because you Ohio State. That's and Peyton's Ohio State. He was a Ohio State foamer. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's crazy. Vannett's got to go, man. You got to step up or get the hell out of here, man. We trying to get a chip. We don't have time for you dropping the ball. You know, but the hell with that. All right, Linda said Hill got to be the fast tight in the league. He will produce. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, RG, what's up, fam? What's up, bro? What's up, Bishop? Big ups to Bishop. One love. Good to see you in the chat, fam. Much love to you, fam. All right, Future Trunk said, I better not see Taysom design and run. Yeah, well, I mean, man, listen, the Saints, man, they got so much going on, man. You know, they really do. It's not like it almost brings us back to the days when the Saints had so much versatility on the offense where everybody will have an opportunity to shine individual games. Because if you're the defense, if you're a defensive coordinator and you're looking at the Saints offense, you're trying to look at and say, okay, who do I key in on? Let's say you got Kamara. You know your starting lineup. Who do I key in on? You got Michael Thomas who's back there. You're like, okay, we always double Mike. But, you know, you got Jarvis Landry in the slot. What do we do with him? And not every defense has the ability, forcing most of these people to go deep. So you have your third best cornerback trying to guard Jarvis Landry, and he's a starting level wide receiver. Think about that for a second. See, the slot position, you have usually the slot operates with your third best cornerback. So you have your their third best cornerback guarding a starter in Jarvis Landry. If Mike Thomas wasn't there, Jarvis Landry would be your number one wide receiver. So he's operating as your third wide receiver against their third string defensive back. We're going to eat all day. How many really good third corners most teams have? You see what I'm saying? You're going to have to dig deep against the Saints. You really are. Not to mention Kamara. So who do you stop? That's the question. That's why it beckons back to the days when the Saints offense was top notch. Where do you go? Who do you stop? So, I mean, you can't just sink in on this guy. And if you sink in on this guy, this other guy is going to kill you. Well, Chris Olave is a rookie. We don't know what he can do. We don't care. As long as Mike Thomas and Jarvis Landry and Alvin Kamara don't beat us, we don't care about Chris Olave. And then Chris Olave kills you. 160-something yards with 2 touchdowns on 7 catches from Jameis Winston because Jameis is throwing the dead ball, the deep ball out there and killing their defense. So, who do you stop there? That's why I'm saying a guy like Adam Trautman should feast, man, this year. He should have at least 55 catches next year, about 700-800 yards and about maybe 5 to 7 touchdowns. Trautman should be able to eat off of that. He should be able to feast with all of that going on the field. He's going to be the most open man. He's going to be more open than the referee. That boy going to be unguarded out there running around there. That boy better he better be really working on it this year, man. He better get it together. Get that shit together. All right, that boy going to be more open than the referee running around out there. All right, yeah. Okay, I see you. Seth says, I want the Saints to sign. Okay, yeah, Larry, the big defensive tackle used to play for the Browns. Oh, yeah. All right, I got you, bro. Brandon said it'll be interesting to see MT and Olave stretch. Yeah, man, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be so fun. All right, yeah, it's going to be wonderful, man, to see what the Saints offense looking good. Yeah, so a lot of guys, like the tight end, should be able to eat. They're going to be the most open people on the field for the Saints. Could you imagine that with all those people around? Who do you stop? Who do you know? We don't care about Trautman. Just leave Trautman open. Leave him open out there. He ain't shit. And then Trautman catching the ball, moving and everything. So, I mean, it's getting down, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be cool. All right, man. So with that being said, fam, I'm going to get ready to bounce on that one. Listen, man, I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for chiming in on this Thursday stream. Tomorrow when I come back, I will open up the phone lines on our Friday stream so the family members yeah, that's right, John. Don't forget the Breakers. Yeah, it is, man. Between the Saints, the Pelicans, and the Breakers, it's great right now. And the Breakers feel right in that little patch where it gets a little stale right there, and you're still getting New Orleans football. So this is a terrific offseason, a great summer to be a black and gold person, man. It really is. The draft coming up real soon for the Pelicans. The Breakers are playing really well. It's going to be awesome, man. So with that being said, I'm going to check out on that. Listen, please feel free to hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show's link on your social media feed as well. Check out the shops, the merch shops down in the description section below. Check that out. As we got a new selection of hats that we are just releasing. There's other merch down there too. The Jameis Winston Who Dat fake jersey. Trust the DA is in there as well. So it's several different things in the description section below. And remember, all merch purchases help out the platform as we continue to build this thing up into a monster. The Sports Coma, the PRO Media Network is working with something, fam. Let me tell you something. We love what we do. All right, so with that being said, fam, I appreciate y'all chiming on the stream. I'm going to holler at y'all on our Friday show when we open up the phone lines. Who that to you? Have a good rest of your week.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that to. WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.